I'm Malcolm Mitchell, and I'm coming home with Campus Lore. I tell this story to kids all the time when I go visit their schools to read, because of course they ask a bunch of football questions. And the question is, were you always a football fan, and did you love Georgia and the Patriots? I always tell them I didn't watch my first full football game until I got to college. I grew up playing, loving the game, but I was more of a SpongeBob, Fairly Odd Parents. I was a big cartoon fan. I didn't even grow up watching football. When I started getting recruited, Georgia was one of the first 3 schools to offer. I got offers, I was fortunate enough to get offers from a lot of different schools. I heard from a friend the SEC was the best. Of course, I had no idea what that meant, but I wanted to be a part of the best conference, so of course I wanted to stay in the SEC. I didn't want to be extremely far from home, so by the time it got to the end, I had 3 teams in mind: Alabama, Georgia, and Florida.
The #1 team in the land!
The thing that set UGA apart from every school that I visit or every school that offered me was just the atmosphere. When I came up here and I felt, how much the team was a family, how much the coaches were not just adamant about making sure you excelled on the field, but also off. That's what I wanted to be a part of. Because remember, I didn't know a bunch about football, so I was going off of other tangible things that were important to me.
Malcolm Mitchell.
I really can't believe I made the list. Stafford, Barry, Hines, Todd, AJ, Houston, Chubb, Coach Rick. Coach Rick came to the school, hung out with me all day, came to my mom's house, ate her cooking, sat on our couch, talked about his faith, his beliefs, and from that moment on, my mom was hooked. And of course, she has the biggest influence on my life. So him just being the guy he was is what truly sealed the deal to come here. I walked up to Coach Rick's office when I was having knee issues, when I was recovering, when I was coming back. And during that time period, I fell in love with reading, I fell in love with writing, and I walked into his office not to ask him about football, I asked him about writing a foreword in this children's book that I had wrote, because he was such an influential person on my life, specifically at that time. And he agreed. He allowed me to pursue something outside of football at the time where, the most important thing was getting back on the field. I'll never forget that interaction, because not one moment did he say, hey, you need to be focusing on this. We need you to do this to get back out there. He said, this is awesome. How can I help? I want you to meet my mom when you get a chance. She came over today.
Where's your mom?
Mom.
How you doing, Mom?
My mom's a bigger football fan than I am now. My mom loves football. She never missed a home game, no matter if she was sick, not feeling well, if she had to take off of work to be here. And that's something that I didn't really pay attention to during the recruiting process, but I'm glad that I made the decision to be somewhere where my mom could come. One of the fond memories I have of my first game at UGA was actually play Boise State. We got beat bad in the Dome, but that was my first college game, first touchdown in my first game, first experience in college. I got hit a couple of times that game, but it wasn't until I played another SEC school that I realized that this is a different game than I played in high school.
There's the snap. Here comes pressure by the Gators. Quick throw. Mitchell makes the catch. He breaks away. 30, 25, 20. Veers inside. 10 breaks the tackle. 5 breaks another one.
The University of Georgia means so much to me now. Now that I'm not here, now that I'm in a place where I can reflect back on my time here, because I've spent some time away. UGA is just a place where I've grew, I've learned, I matured. It taught me how to be responsible, accountable. Picking this school was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. And my mom let me make that choice on my own. So I can say, as a 17-year-old, making the choice of where to go to school, I definitely made the right decision. Everything that happened here wasn't perfect, but everything that happened here led me to where I am now, and I'm happy with that. What I miss most about UGA? Saturday in Athens. My fondest memories of the dog walk would have to be the end, because that's an opportunity where you get to walk through the family and friends section of the dog walk after you visit with all the fans, high five, shake their hands. And I love the end because that's a chance where I got to hug my mom right before the game started.
Thank you for coming by.
You're so welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for being such a good kid.
I'll always try to be.
That's why I got a picture with your mama.
Yeah.
Because it had to start there.
It definitely did.
Thank you, honey.
No problem.
What would I like my legacy to be here in Athens? I want my legacy to be somebody who came in and did the best they could every day that they were here. Someone who played football, but that wasn't all he was. Somebody who believes in life you have opportunities and you have to take advantage of all the opportunities you can. Somebody who believes that football is a phenomenal sport, but football is an avenue to propel you to do other great things in life. I tell people all the time, I want to be remembered as an author who played football instead of a football player who just happened to write a book.